Welcome to Macon County High School for today's matchup between the Macon County Tigers and the Smith County Owls. Tigers coming into this game tonight 3-1 after losing a decision last night at Smith County by a score of 8-5. Matthew Wheely pitching for the Tigers today. First base, Hayes Polston. Second base, Jake Metter. Third at short, Braylon Flowers. Over at third base, Gage Jones. Out in left field for the Tigers, we have Landon Connor. In center field, we have Eli Carver. In right field, we have Soup Woodard. Batting for the Smith County Tigers now, number 3, center fielder Gammon. And he has a 3-1 count. A little bit delayed getting on the air. Had some technical difficulties here at the park trying to get the microphone to work for the PA announcement, but unsuccessful in doing so. But now we're here to bring you all the action. And so Wheely takes Gammon to a 3-2 count. 1 out on the board for the Tigers, an early ground out at first base on a ground ball. And so with 1 out in the top of the first, no score, here's the 3-2 pitch, and that's going to be a called strike 3. After Gammon did a bat flip and headed back to the dugout thinking he got the walk, umpire called him back, and now he's going to walk back to the dugout, this time holding his bat with a strike 3. 2 outs now here in the top of the first inning. 2 batters, 2 outs, and that's going to bring up the right-hander, catcher number 1, Long. First pitch hits him, grazed him, and so he's going to head down to first base. And they're going to bring in a pinch runner, number 22, Howell. That's going to bring up number 34, first baseman, Montgomery. Left-handed batter. Howell takes his lead on first. Wheely winds up. Wheely pitches, called strike 1. Wheely on the money so far in this game. 1 runner on, 2 outs. Wheely comes set, delivers. That's going to be just a bit outside for ball 1. Count 1-1 to Montgomery, the big man, big first baseman for Smith County. Wheely comes set, fires home. That's a little high for ball 2. Count 2-1. 2 outs, 1 man on base, and the courtesy runner Howell. He's going to second. Dean fires down to Flowers at short, and Flowers makes an easy tag on Howell for the caught stealing, and that's the 3rd out. And that'll end the top of the first. When we come back, the Tigers are going to be at bat in the bottom of the first. You're listening to Tiger Baseball here on Country 102 WLCT. Number 20, Braylon Flowers, shortstop, senior for the Tigers, steps up. Tigers looking to get their revenge after an 8-5 loss at Smith County yesterday. Helped in no small part by a 3-run homer by the Owls. First pitch to Flowers is going to be called strike 1. Number 11, Martin, on the bump for the Owls. He winds up and fires home, and that's called strike 2. 1-2 the count now to Braylon Flowers. Here's the windup, the 1-2 pitch. It's swung on, and it's fouled off on the right-hand side over the visitor's dugout. So the count remains 1-2. And the next pitch is in the dirt to even the count to 2-2. Tigers in their blue and white pinstripes, Owls in their black and gold pinstripes. Today's the battle of the pinstripes. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled off straight back over the backstop. Count remains 2-2 for Braylon Flowers. Martin looks in, gets his signal. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch. That's high, and that's going to bring Flowers to a full count to 3-2. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch. It's going to be swung on. It's going to be hit. Shortstop's going to pick it up right over top of second base, and they're going to make the out barely. Braylon Flowers almost ran that one out, but they were able to get the throw away in time to Montgomery. And so Hackett to Montgomery for the ground out. And that'll be out number 1 for the Tigers in the bottom of the first inning. That's going to bring up number 11, Soup Woodard, playing right field for the Tigers today. Soup steps in. Here's the pitch from Martin. He tried to get out of the way, but in the process hit his bat. And Soup actually went to the deck trying to get out of the way on that one, but it did hit his bat, so it's a foul ball over the backstop. Count 0-1. 75 degrees and sunny today. It's a beautiful day for baseball here at Macon County High School. Soup steps back in. Here's the pitch, off-speed pitch. Soup swings on it, goes right between the second baseman's legs, Sinclair. And so Soup will reach. And so the Tigers with a man on with one out. That's going to bring up number 17, Hayden Dean. Dean catching for the Tigers today. Martin looks in, checks his runner, fires home, check swing, didn't go, but nevertheless it was a strike. So count 0-1. Martin looks at first, comes back to home, fires, and that's going to be low for ball 1. Count 1-1 to Hayden Dean. Soup takes his lead on first. Martin fires home, and that's going to be on the outside corner for a called strike 2. 1-2, the count. One out, one man on. No score yet in the bottom of the first. Here's the pitch. Off-speed pitch is called strike 3. And that was a nice pitch for out number 2. That's going to bring up number 34, Hayes Polston. Left-handed first baseman for the Tigers. Martin comes set, delivers. Off-speed pitch swung on and missed for strike 1. Count 0-1. To Polston. 2 outs, 1 man on for the Tigers. Martin checks his runner, comes set, delivers. Runner's going to second. Soup's going to slide in easily at second before the throw can get there. Throw from Long over to Hackett. And so Tigers with a man on second now in Soup Woodard. And Polston has a 1-1 count. 2 away. Martin, that's a balk. He raised his leg and waited too long to set it down. He paused after he raised his leg, and so the umpire correctly called that a balk. And so Soup will head down to third base, and the count remains 1-1. Here's the pitch. It's swung on. Poston hits this one right to second base. Second baseman this time able to make the grab, throw it over to first for the third out, and that will end the first inning. No score yet here at Macon County High School. We've got baseball going on. If you can come out to the park and join us, it's a beautiful day for baseball. Wheelie winds up, fires home. That's going to be inside ball one. 1-0 count to Montgomery. Wheelie fires home. Montgomery swings. This is headed out to center field, and Eli Carver camps out underneath and makes the out. So with the fly out, Montgomery will head back to the dugout, and that's going to bring up number 5, Hackett, playing shortstop today for the Owls. One away here at the top of the second. Wheelie looks in. Fires off speed, outside. Ball one. Now, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Wheelie pitched against Livingston Academy here, correct? In the 13-1 win. And he only pitched 51, 52 pitches in a 13-1 victory. Wheelie was tremendously efficient on the mound. 1-1 the count now. This is going to be swung on, and Jake Metter is going to go way out of position to make the stop to keep the ball from going into right field, but he falls, making the stop. Tries to toss it over to Polston from a laying down position and unable to get the out. And so Hackett will be on first base for the Owls. That's going to bring up number 16, Latham. Number 11, Martin. Martin pitching for the Owls today. First pitch called strike one. 0-1, one man on, one out for the Owls. Wheelie throws over to first in the pickoff attempt. Hackett able to get back. He's safe. 0-1 the count. Martin steps back in. Wheelie comes set. Fires home. Little low for ball one. Count 1-1. Wheelie looks in, checks his runner. Comes set, delivers, off-speed pitch, swing and a miss, strike two. Nice pitch for Matthew Wheelie. 1-2 the count to Martin. Wheelie comes set, fires home, runner's going. It's going to be a hard hit ball. It's going to be in the gap between center and right. Eli Carver's going to pick it up. Going to toss it in. Hackett's going to head over to third. And with the base hit, Martin puts runners at the corners for the Smith County Owls. That's going to bring up now 16, third baseman Latham. Little break in the action. Umpire having a little conversation with Smith County's coach. Wheelie looks in. Fires home. That's high. It's going to get away from Dean. Hackett's going to come home. And on the throw, Wheelie misses the throw from Dean. So Hackett's going to score. And Martin's going to head over to third on the pass ball. And so the Owls go up 1-0 here in the top of the second. Latham steps back in. Wheelie fires home. Foul ball. 1-1 the count. One out. One man on. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch from Wheelie. Off-speed pitch, going to be fouled off against the wall on the visitor side. 1-2 the count now to Latham. Wheelie winds up. That one's low for ball 2. Evens the count, 2-2. Here's the pitch. Going to be swung on. That's going to be another base hit to right center. Carver picks it up, and that is going to score Martin. Latham on first base. That's going to bring up number 12, the designated hitter, Howell. Wheelie comes set, delivers. This is going to be a foul ball out of play over the press box. Runner threatens to go, then comes back. Ball 1. Count 1-1 to Howell. Latham is on first base. Here's the off-speed pitch. It's outside for ball 2. 2-1 the count now. 1 away. The Owls up 2-0 here in the top of the second. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Even count, 2-2. Wheelie comes set, delivers, low, full count now to the designated hitter, Howell. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Wheelie fires home. That's going to be a hard hit ball between short and third. Landon Connor will pick it up out in left and throw it in. That'll push Latham to second. Howell will stand up on first, and that'll bring up number 21, the second baseman, Sinclair. Wheelie checks his runners, comes set, delivers, swung on, foul ball, out of play on the visitor side. Wheelie looks in, comes set, fires home. It's going to be a hard hit ball, fly ball. Eli Carver going back to the fence, makes the grab for the out. Runner's going to tag up on second, and so Martin will head down to third. And number 12, Howell, will go back to first. Good catch from Eli Carver, but he did push the runner to third with a sacrifice. 2 outs now. And that's going to bring up number 10, Claywell, the top of the order. First pitch outside for ball 1. Second pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2. Just a bit outside for ball 2. Count 2-1 now with 2 outs. Swung on. This is going to be a high pop fly. Wheely's calling for it. He calls Polston off and makes the grab. And so after the end of the top of the second, you have the Smith County Owls 2, the Tigers 0. When we come back, we'll be in the bottom of the second, and the Tigers will be back at bat. You're listening to Country 102, WLCT. Up to bat for the Tigers, number 7, Gage Jones. He has a ball to second baseman who bobbles it, Sinclair, but he's able to make the throw over to Montgomery and able to throw out Jones at first on the first pitch. And so 1 out. Number 28, Ty Bilbrey, designated hitter, coming up for the Tigers. 1 away, no 1 on. Martin winds up, fires home. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Count 0-1 to Bilbrey. Martin fires home, swung on, strike 2. Here's the third pitch, swung on, and 3 straight strikes. Bilbrey heads back to the dugout, and that's out number 2. That's going to bring up number 18, Wheely. Wheely pitching for the Tigers today. First pitch is a called strike 1, fastball. Martin winds up, fires home. That's going to be a little high, a little outside for ball 1. Count 1-1. Off-speed pitch inside for ball 2. 2-1 the count. 2 outs, no 1 on. In the bottom of the second inning, Owls lead 2-0. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch. Swung on. That's going to be strike 2. 2-2 the count. Full count now after the outside pitch from Martin. Here's the 3-2 pitch. That's going to be low and outside, and Wheely's going to head down to first base with a walk. That's going to bring up number 42, Landon Connor. Connor playing left field for the Tigers today. Wheely takes his lead on first. Martin checks him, comes set, delivers. We swung on. That's going to hit second baseman right in the glove. Sinclair, he's going to toss it over to the shortstop, Hackett, for the force out at second, and that's going to end the second inning. When we come back, the Owls are going to be at bat in the top of the third. You're listening to Tiger Baseball here on Country 102 WLCT. We're back here at Macon County High School. Number 3, Gammon up to bat for the Tigers. Counts 1-1. Matthew Wheely still doing the work on the bump for the Tigers. Matthew with an off-speed pitch, 3-2. Here's the 3-2 pitch from Wheelie. Swung on, fouled off, straight back. Count remains 3-2. Here's the 3-2 pitch from Wheelie. That's going to be in the dirt. And Gammon is going to walk to first. You're going to have to hold that set button down. And it says group 10-1 right now. And it needs to be group 1-1. And use the arrows. It needs to be group 1, number 1. And I think it's group 10, number 1 right now. That's going to bring up number 1, Long. Catcher. First pitch, foul ball, 0-1. The Owls lead 2-0 here at the top of the third. No one out with one man on. Wheelie comes set. Gammon headed to second. Dean's going to throw it down. And Metter's going to miss that one. I think it hit his glove, but it's going out to right center field. And on that, Gammon's going to head over to third. Gammon with a 2-base steal. Count 1-1 to Long. No one out. Now the Owls with a runner on third. Were you able to get it 1-1? Long calls time, steps out of the box. Wheelie steps up, winds up. Off-speed pitch swung on, strike 2. Good off-speed pitch from Matthew Wheelie. I think you have to keep hitting that set button until you get that first number to flash. Swung on and hit. That's going to be a fly ball to Landon Connor in left, who was ready for it. And he throws it in to hold Gammon on third. No score. And the Tigers register the out. That's going to bring up number 34, first baseman, Montgomery. Wheelie gets his signal, winds up, fires home, high, ball 1. Wheelie delivers the pitch. That's another ball, high, ball 2. Here's the third pitch to Montgomery in the third ball, high, ball 3. Wheelie gets his signal, winds up, fires home, swing and a miss. Strike 1, unusual to see him swing on the 3-0 pitch. Usually that's a take, and it was a little high, but Montgomery really wanted to hit that one. Here's the windup, here's the swing, and that's high for ball 4. Montgomery will head down to first base. And now the Owls with runners at the corners. Montgomery at first, Gammon still down on third. And time is called by Coach Hudson. He's going to come out and talk with Matthew Wheelie. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you more baseball action. We're in the top of the third. You're listening to Country 102 WLCT. We're in the top of the third. There's one out, and the Owls have runners at the corners. Wheelie with a pitch shows bunt. Successful on the bunt. Wheelie had to go all the way over to the first base line to pick it up. He did a backhand to Polston over on first, but the backhand had to pull Polston off the bag. And so Hackett is going to be safe at first. It's going to move Montgomery to second, and Gammon's going to score the third run for the Owls. The Owls score 2 runs in the second and 1 run so far in the top of the third. And so they have a 3-0 lead over the Tigers with 1 out and 2 runners on. Here's Matthew Wheelie's first pitch to number 11, the pitcher, Martin, and it swung on for strike 1. Count 0-1. Wheelie comes set, checks his runners, fires home. Off-speed pitch, little low for ball 1. 1-1 the count to Martin. Wheelie delivers inside, ball 2. 2-1 the count. Tigers dropped an 8-5 decision to the Owls yesterday at their place. Would like to take their revenge at home today. Off-speed pitch swung on, strike 2. Even count, 2-2 to Martin. Wheelie comes set, fires, off-speed pitch, blooper foul right over the press box. Tigers' next game will be Thursday evening at Springfield, where they will take on the Jackets at 6:30 p.m. We'll bring you that action right here on 102 WLCT. Here's the pitch. Low. 3-2. Full count now to Martin. Wheelie gets his signal. Here's the pitch. Swung and missed. Strike 3. And that is out number 2. That's going to bring up number 16, Latham, the third baseman. We thank you to all of our listeners for catching today's game here on Country 102 WLCT. Also for our sponsors for making it possible. Also for those who will watch this on NCTV. They're here broadcasting the game today. And so for those of you with NCTV, you'll be able to catch this game. First pitch is going to be low, gets away from Dean. It's going to move the runners. Montgomery to third. It's going to move Hackett over to second. And with the 1-0 pitch, this is going to be a ground ball to Gage Jones at third. He's going to pick it up, and he's going to toss it over to Polston for the third out of the top of the third inning. When we come back, the Tigers will go back on offense. Down 3-0, looking to get on the board. You're listening to Tiger Baseball here on Country 102 WLCT. Martin still doing the work on the mound for the Owls, number 11. First pitch to Metter is inside, ball 1. Count 1-0. Martin winds up, delivers, swing and a miss, strike 1. Count goes 1-1 to Jake Metter. Here's the windup, delivers, outside, ball 2. 2-1. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 3. So 3-1. Metter up early in this at-bat. Sunny and 75 today. No wind, little wind. Swing and a miss. Full count, 3-2. Just enough for it to be comfortable. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And that's going to be outside for ball 4. Jake Metter will head down to first base, give Coach Craig Head a fist bump. And Braylon Flowers, the top of the order, number 20, steps back into the box. Martin, now from the stretch. Checks his runner, tosses over to Montgomery at first. Metter able to get back in time, safe at first. Martin checks Metter again. This time goes home. Swung on. That's going to be a base hit down the right field baseline, down the first base line, out of the outfield. That's going to push Metter all the way over to third. Nice base hit from Braylon Flowers. And now the Tigers have a runner in scoring position. And that's going to bring up number 11, Soup. Some people know him by Caden Woodard. Most everybody else knows him by Soup. So Tigers with the runners at the corners, threatening to get on the board with no outs here in the bottom of the third inning. Soup steps in. Flowers takes his lead. Martin checks him. Delivers home. Swung on. This is going to be another base hit in the same spot down the first base line. Right fielder picks it up, and Flowers tried to stretch it to get to third, and they're able to make the throw to number 16, Latham. Good throw from Preston all the way over to Latham on third base to make the tag to get Flowers out. And so with one out, the Tigers put one run on the board. Score is 3-1. And number 17, Hayden Dean, steps into the box. Soup on second base. And first pitch, check swing, strike one. 0-1 the count. One away. One man on for the Tigers. Martin feigned the throw to second. I thought he was going to get called with another balk there. Here's the pitch home. Swung on hard by Dean and missed. Strike two. 0-2 the count to Hayden Dean. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Another check swing, and that's fouled off straight back. Count remains 0-2 with one out. And Soup Woodard on second base for the Tigers. Tigers trail 3-1 here in the bottom of the third. They would like to close that gap. Martin comes set, checks Woodard at second. Here's the pitch, off speed, a little high for ball one. 1-2 the count to Hayden Dean. Martin looks in, gets his signal, comes set, checks Soup. Here's the pitch, swung on, and that's going to be hit over to the shortstop, Hackett. He's going to scoop it up, throw it to first for the ground out at first. And so Hackett Montgomery again get the ground out. But Soup Woodard gains third base. And so with two outs, Hayes Polston, the left-handed batter, steps up. And here's the pitch from Martin, and that's going to be in the dirt. I think Martin and Polston are cousins. I think that's the deal. Yeah. Polston, 1-0. Here's the pitch. Swung on hard, and that's going to be right in the gap. That's going to be another run for the Tigers. Woodard's going to walk in to home, and Polston's going to be standing up at first. So the RBI for Polston, the runners, and the Tigers with two runs in the bottom of the third inning now close that gap to a 3-2 game. And that's going to bring up number 7, Jones. Swung on, and that's going to be a fly ball out to right field. And the right fielder, Preston's going to pick that one up. That's going to be the third out, but not before the Tigers put 2 runs on the board. So after 3, Smith County Owls 3, Tigers 2. We're coming back with the top of the fourth. You're listening to Tiger Baseball here on Country 102 WLCT. And up to the plate now for the Owls is number 12, Howell. And the first pitch is a fly ball over to Gage Jones at third, who makes the grab for the first out. So the first pitch of the fourth inning is the first out of the fourth inning. Wheelie at 67 pitches for the game so far. And that's going to bring up number 21, Sinclair, the second baseman. The first pitch is ball one. Count 1-0 to Sinclair. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be low for ball two. Wheelie winds up, fires home. And that's going to be a called strike one. Good pitch from Wheelie. 2-1 the count. One out, no one on for the Owls. And that's going to be inside ball three. Count 3-1. Wheelie fires home. That's going to be low for ball four. Sinclair is going to head down to first base with a walk. And that'll bring up number 10, Claywell, the left fielder, in the top of the Owls order. Wheelie comes set, fires home, high, ball one. Wheelie looks in, checks his runner, comes set, fires home, high for ball two. 2-0 the count. And they're going to call time, and Coach Hudson is going to come out, and we're going to talk. May have a pitching change coming up here. So we're going to take a break, see what's going on, and bring you more action right here on Country 102 WLCT. And we're back here. Landon Connor doing the work on the mound for the Tigers. 3-1 count now to Claywell. Connor came in the middle of Claywell's at bat. The Owls with one runner on in the top of the fourth. They lead the Tigers 3-2. A 3-1 count on Claywell. And that's going to be a called strike two. Full count now on number 10, Claywell. And the left-handed Connor comes in relief for Matthew Wheelie. He left the game after 74 pitches. And that's going to be a called ball four. And Claywell will head down to first base. Number 21, Sinclair, will go down to second, and that will bring up number 3, the center fielder, Gammon, to bat for the Owls. First pitch, low, ball one. Connor checks his runners, fires home, and that's going to be ball two. Count 2-0. Connor comes set, delivers, swung on. It's going to be a high pop fly. Jones went back to get to it. Flowers was going over there to also try to get to it. And it turns out neither one of them got to it. And so that's going to push number 10, Claywell, over to second. And that will score Sinclair. Oh, he was out?
Yeah,
They did a force out at third. Okay. It's hard for me to see in the sun. So with 2 outs now, count 1-0. Hard hit ball, and that is going to be caught by Eli Carver over in right field. Good catch to end the inning and keep the Owls from extending their lead. When we come back, we'll be in the bottom of the 4th, and the Tigers will be at bat. We'll try to see through this sun that is setting in the west. You're listening to Country 102 WLCT. Martin toes the rubber. Bilbrey steps in. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Foul ball. Over the backstop. 0-1 the count. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch. Swung on the off speed. Count 0-2. Martin winds up. Fires home. Swung on. Strike 3. And so there'll be one away. And that's going to bring up number 18, Wheelie. He started out pitching for the Tigers, then moved to center field when Connor came in from left to pitch. And so the first pitch to Wheelie is swung on, foul ball over the visitor side. 0-1 the count. Called strike 2. 0-2. Martin shakes off his signal, then gets one he likes, winds up just outside for ball 1. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch. Inside ball 2. Count 2-2. There's the 2-2 pitch, and it's outside. Full count now to Matthew Wheelie. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung on, hit down the third base line, and it's foul on the ground ball. So the count remains 3-2. Here's the windup. Here's another 3-2 pitch. And the Owls wanted that one, but the umpire says that was a little bit high. And so Wheelie will head down to first base with a walk. And that's going to bring up number 42, Landon Connor. Connor steps in. Martin comes set. Bunt from Connor. It's going to be bunted to the third baseman, who's going to throw it over to Montgomery at first for the out. That's out number 2. Jake Metter, number 16, comes in to bat. Right-handed batter for the Tigers. Tigers with 1 man on. Wheelie on second. And just like Soup earlier, I thought it hit his bat, but I guess it hit his helmet. And so I thought that was a foul ball for sure from the sound of it, but it hit his helmet. And so he is on first base. Runners on first and second now for the Tigers. And that's going to bring up number 20, Braylon Flowers, top of the order for the Tigers. Matthew Wheely on second, Jake Metter on first, 2 outs. And Flowers got a nice base hit down the right field line earlier. And for the Tigers to catch up here, losing 3-2 in the bottom of the fourth, this would be a really good time for that. Flower steps back in. Martin checks his runners, delivers, high, ball 1. Count 1-1 to Braylon Flowers. Here's the pitch. Off-speed pitch falls for strike 2. Count 1-2 now. That was a nice off-speed pitch from Martin. 1-2 the count, 2 outs. Martin comes set, fires. Another off-speed pitch, but it breaks too far out for ball 2. Count 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swung on, foul ball. Count remains 2-2. Martin gets a new ball. Flower steps in. Here's the pitch. That's in the dirt. So it's going to be a full count on Flowers, 3-2. Matthew Wheely's going to go over to third. Jake Metter's going to go over to second. And so the runners in scoring position for the Tigers with 2 outs. Braylon Flowers with an opportunity here to tie this ball game with a base hit. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And that's going to go down the right field side, and it's out of play. Foul ball. Count remains 3-2. Flower steps back in. Martin comes set, checks his runners. Here's the pitch. That was high, but he swung on it, and it's fouled off over the press box. Count stays. Full count, 3-2 with 2 outs. Tigers looking to tie or take the lead here in the bottom of the fourth. Here's the pitch. Off-speed pitch called strike 3. That fell for a nice strike. That'll end the inning. Tigers come away scoreless at the bottom of the fourth. When we come back, we'll be in the top of the fifth. The Owls lead 3-2 here at Macon County High School. You're listening to Tiger Baseball here on Country 102 WLCT. Tigers looking to exact some revenge after the 8-5 decision yesterday at Smith County. That first pitch is a called strike 1. Nice pitch from Landon Connor. 0-1 the count. Connor winds up, fires. Swung on, about half swung on, but enough for strike 2. Count 0-2. Connor winds up, fires home. Foul ball. Out of play. Count remains 0-2. Tigers coming into this game 3-1 on the year. Here's the windup. Off-speed pitch called strike 3. Nice pitch from Landon Connor. And so on the called strike, Montgomery will head back to the dugout, and that's going to bring up number 5, the shortstop, Hackett. Connor looks in, winds up. A little low for ball 1. One away, no one on here in the top of the 5th inning. Owls leading 3-2. Connor with the pitch. High for ball 2. Two balls, no strikes to Hackett. That down the middle, strike 1. 2-1 the count to Hackett. Connor with the windup and the pitch. Be swung on. That's going to be hit to the second baseman, Metter. He'll scoop it up. He'll throw it over to Polston for the ground out. And the second out of the 5th inning. That'll bring up number 11, the pitcher, Martin. Martin has so far gone the distance for the Owls on the mound. Martin steps in. Connor fires home. Off-speed pitch. That's going to be hit to Jake Metter. He's going to backhand it and throw it over to first base for another ground out. So in one more pitch, that's the third out, and that's going to end the top of the 5th inning. The Tigers are going to come back on offense with the bats in the bottom of the 5th. You're listening to Tiger Baseball here on Country 102 WLCT. Soup moved over to left field when Connor came in from left to pitch. Eli Carver moved from center to right, and Matthew Wheatley moved from the mound back to center, his usual position in the field. Soup steps in. Martin, first pitch, high, ball 1. Martin winds up. Owls liked that when the umpire says outside, so ball 2. 2-0 the count to Soup. Martin steps up. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch. That's going to be high for ball 3. Three and 0. And a called strike 1 on the take to Soup Woodard. 3-1 the count now to Soup. Martin winds up, delivers. And that is ball 4, and he's going to head down to first base. That's going to bring up number 17, Hayden Dean. Soup at first. Dean steps in. Martin comes set. Fires home. High for ball 1. Count 1-0. That one's outside for ball 2. And Martin above 70 pitches now. Struggling to find the strike zone a little bit. He comes set. Here's the pitch. And that one's right down the middle for strike 1. Count 2-1 to Hayden Dean. Martin fires home. Dean swings on it. Scooped it by the shortstop Hackett. They get the force out at second. They try to go for the double play. Throws it way over Montgomery's head. He didn't even try to make that catch. Let it go to the fence. And so Dean stays on first. Soup will head back to the dugout. And with one out, number 34, Hayes Polston, steps to the plate. Tigers down 3-2 with one man on. And now Smith County's coach going to go talk with Martin. With the number of pitches he has, they may be making a change. And they are. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll bring you more baseball action. We're in the bottom of the fifth inning. Tigers trailing 3-2 to the Smith County Owls. We're back here, Macon County High School. Hayes Polston steps in. Latham, number 16, comes over from third base and climbs up on the mound. Tigers trailing 3-2 in the bottom of the fifth. They have one man on in Hayden Dean. Soup had the force out at second, so with one out, the count is 1-0. Latham turns around, throws over to Montgomery to try to pick Dean off. Nothing doing. Dean gets back safe. And so now Latham steps back up on the rubber, comes set, delivers home, and that is going to be inside for ball two. Count 2-0, the opening count to Hayes Polston. Polston ready for the pitch. Here it is. It's high. Ball three. 3-0 the count. One out, one man on for the Tigers, down 3-2. That's going to be right down the pipe for strike one on the take. 31 for Hayes Polston. One out. Dean takes his lead. Latham checks him. Comes set, delivers home. Swing and a miss. Strike two. Full count now on Hayes Polston. Latham comes set, fires home, swung on. This is going to be fly ball. Can the center fielder get to it? He can. He dives and makes the grab. They try to get Dean out. Dean had gotten about halfway to second base, but then he headed back, and a bad throw is what saved Dean from the third out of the inning. And so Montgomery unable to handle that throw, and we've got a pinch runner going to head in for the Tigers. Number 41, Hudson West, another sophomore. Gage Jones steps up to the plate, number 7 for the Tigers. West dives back on the pickoff attempt. Jones steps back in. 2 outs. Foul ball straight back. Count 0-1 to Jones. West takes his lead. Off-speed pitch outside. Ball 1. Count 1-1 to Gage Jones with 2 outs. Latham, off-speed pitch, swung on. That's going to be a fly ball. Shortstop Hackett gets called off by the left fielder, Claywell, who makes the grab, and that's out number 3. Tigers go scoreless in the bottom of the 5th. When we come back, we'll be in the top of the 6th inning, and the Owls will be back at bat. You're listening to Country 102 WLCT. Connor winds up, delivers inside for ball 1. Connor winds up, fires home, right down the pipe. Strike 1. 1-1 the count. Now to Latham. Here's the pitch. Off-speed pitch right down the middle for strike 2. Latham let a good pitch go by. 1-2. Here's the windup. There's a pitch that's swung on. Jones can't get to it. Flowers dives and gets to it. He makes the throw over to first, but unable to make it in time. So Latham will reach on the base hit, and that'll bring up number 12, Howell, the designated hitter for the Owls. Owls with 1 runner aboard here in the top of the 6th inning. They lead 3-2 over the Tigers. No outs. Athletic stop by Braylon Flowers, but just unable to get the throw over there in time with Latham's speed. Howell gets his signal from his coach, steps in the box. Connor, left-handed pitcher, checks Latham at first, comes set. Here's the pitch, outside for ball 1. Connor gets his signal, comes set, fires home, outside ball 2. 2-0 the count now. It's number 12, D.H. Howell. Howell steps in. Connor looks over at first. Throws over to first. Good dig out from Polston. And he says balk. Umpire says balk. Said that he made a move to home and then threw to first. And so they award second base to Latham. 2-0 still the count to the designated hitter, Howell. Here's the pitch. That's going to be ball 3. 3 straight balls to Howell. Connor checks Latham at second, fires home, called strike 1 on the take. 3-1 the count to Howell. The Owls with 1 man on and no outs. Connor comes set, fires home, swung on, foul ball, bounced off Dean's chest protector. Latham thought he was going to get third base, but with the foul ball, trots back to second. And so now it's a full count, 3-2 to Howell. Here's the pitch, right down the middle. Nope. Looked good, but they called it outside. And so Howell will head down to first base, and the Owls now have runners at first and second with a 3-2 lead in the top of the 6th and no outs. That brings up number 21, second baseman Sinclair. Connor comes set. Fires home. Swing and a miss. Strike 1 on the off speed. 0-1 the count. Runners take their leads. Sinclair shows bunt, pulls back, pitch outside, ball 1. Infield on the move. He shows bunt again. Infield comes in. Now he pulls back. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Now in Little League ball, you can't do that. You can't show bunt and then pull back and hit, but you can in high school. 1-2 the count. Connor comes set. Checks his runners. Delivers. Off-speed pitch. Great off-speed pitch. And it was low, so he tags the runner before he has a chance to go to first. And so with one out, the Owls have two aboard. And Claywell, the top of the order, comes back to bat for Smith County. Tigers looking to get out of this inning if possible. Get out of the top of this inning and get back to offense where they can try to at least tie this game. Connor comes set, delivers. He shows bunt at the last minute, and it gets away from Dean for a second. Dean picks it up, throws it over to third to Jones. But nevertheless, Latham is able to steal third base on the bobbled ball. Howell remains at first. Claywell steps back in. Connor takes his time on the mound, toes the rubber. Runners at the corners for Smith County. Good pitch right down the middle for strike one. Count 1-1 to Claywell. Connor comes set, checks his runner at first. Low for ball two. Claywell moved his foot at the last second to avoid getting hit by that ball. 2-1 is the count, one away. Here's the pitch. That's low for ball three. Another ball loads the bases here for Smith County. And that's a called strike two. Full count now. Good pitch from Landon Connor. So with one out, here's the 3-2 pitch. That's low, and that loads the bases on the walk. Number 3, Gammon, the center fielder, coming up to the plate. One out, bases loaded. The Owls still holding a 3-2 lead and looking to extend here in the top of the 6th. Coach Jason Hudson is going to call the infield in to have a chat. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in 30 seconds with more baseball action here on Country 102 WLCT. Number 3, Gammon, left-handed batter versus left-handed pitcher Connor. Swing and a foul ball straight back, strike one. 0-1 the count. One away. Connor winds up, delivers home, low for ball one. Count 1-1. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch. That's outside for ball two. Count 2-1. Connor steps up. Fires. That's going to be right down the pipe for strike two. Count 2-2 now to Gammon. One away, bases loaded. Connor winds up. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's going to be a foul ball. Hits the plate, bounces up, hits Gammon. And so the count remains 2-2. Connor in the windup, delivers. Off-speed pitch. That's going to go to Jake Metter at second. He's going to backhand to Flowers for the force out. Flowers is going to throw it over Polston's head at first for the double play try. And so instead of 2 outs, the Owls get 2 runs. Now the score's 5-2. Tigers with just 1 out on that play on the backhand from Metter to Flowers, but the miscue on the throw scores the second run for the Owls. So now the Owls with a 3-run lead and 2 outs with 1 man on first. Connor pitching to number 1, Long, and the first pitch is a foul ball over the press box for strike 1. 0-1. Connor comes set, throws over to first, gets away from Polston in the dirt, over to the fence, and Gammon's going to get second base. Gammon's going to get third base before the Tigers are able to gather that ball and get it back in. And so on the miscue, Gammon gets 2 bases. And so now the Owls have a 5-2 lead with a runner at third and 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. And Long steps back in. It's going to be a high pitch for a ball. One the count. 2 away. 1 man on for the Owls. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch. Low for ball 2. Connor looks in. Winds up. Delivers. High for ball 3. 3-1 the count now to Long. Two outs on the board. Gammon on third. Here's your pitch. That's going to be fouled off for a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And the Tigers would like to get out of this inning without allowing any further runs. Down by 3. Connor winds up, fires. Check swing. Did he go? He did not go. And so that's ball 4. Runners at the corners. Courtesy runner, number 22, Howell, in for Long. And number 34, Montgomery, the first baseman, steps up to the plate. Dean signals the Tigers. Runners at first and third. Connor comes set, fires home. That's strike 1 right down the middle. And Howell steals second. Dean throws down. Flowers is able to grab it. And I'm not sure Gammons was paying attention, or he probably would have tried to come home on that. But I don't think he was paying attention. He's still standing on the bag. Runners at second and third. Montgomery in the box. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be strike 2. 2 good pitches in a row from Connor for strike. 0-2 the count, 2 outs. Al still leading 5-2. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch. That's going to be swung on. That's going to be a fly ball to left field. Soup Woodard can't get to it. He gets it on one hop. There's a play at the plate. Dean had the ball, but as he went to make the tag, he dropped the ball. And so the Owls are going to score 2 more runs off of the base hit. And so now they have a 5-run lead at 7-2. Montgomery is on second base. Gammon and Long both score. And now number 5, Hackett, shortstop, steps into the box. Connor comes set. Hackett shows bunt, pulls back, low pitch, ball 1. Connor comes set. Here's the pitch, shows bunt. This time he does bunt, and it's fouled. 1-1 the count. Hackett shows bunt again, pulls back, then he swings, and that's going to be hit right in the gap. Wheelie, he's going to dive for it. He's not going to be able to get it. Montgomery is going to come around and score, and that's going to be the 8th run for the Owls after a 5-run top of the 6th inning. Hackett is going to be on second base. And that's going to bring up number 11, Martin. And so things have gone from bad to worse here in the top of the 6th for the Tigers. Down 8-2 as the Owls have had a 2-out rally. Here's the first pitch to Martin, called strike 1. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch from Connor. Off-speed pitch, high, ball 1. 1-1 the count. Martin steps back in. Connor fires home, high, ball 2. 2-1. Connor comes set. Here's the pitch, and that is called strike 2. Even count now, 2-2 with 2 outs. The Tigers need to put an end to the top of the 6th inning as the Owls have scored 5. That's low. That gets in front of Dean, hits his mask, bounces out in front of him, and Hackett motors down to third base. And so the Owls with another runner in scoring position. 3-2, full count now to number 11, Martin. Connor winds up, fires home. That's low for ball 4. And so the Owls will take another walk, and Coach Hudson's going to come out and have another conversation at the mound, and it's probably going to include a pitching change. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll bring you more action. We are in the top of the 6th inning where the Tigers trail 8-2 to the Smith County Owls. There's 2 outs. The Tigers looking to put an end to the bleeding. First pitch from Bronner is an off-speed pitch, and that's going to be high for ball 1. Tigers down 8-2 here in the top of the 6th inning. Second pitch is outside for ball 2. 2-0 the count. Bronner comes set. Ball 3. 3-0. Count now to Latham. Runners at the corners for the Owls. The Tigers with 2 outs would like to end at the top of the 6th inning and get back to bat. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be 4 straight balls for a walk, and that'll walk the bases loaded. Second time this inning that the Smith County Owls have had bases loaded. And number 12, Howell, steps up to bat for Smith County. Here's the pitch. Check swing, strike one. Oh and 1 the count to Howell. 2 outs. Bronner comes set. Delivers the off-speed pitch. And that's going to be a line drive to Jake Metter at second to end the inning. And so the Smith County Owls leave the bases loaded. However, they score 5 runs in the top of the 6th to make it an 8-2 game. The Tigers are going to see if they can claw back in the bottom of the 6th. When we come right back, you're listening to Country 102 WLCT. Number 16, Latham, still on the mound for the Owls. First pitch is a called strike one to Bilbrey. Count is 0-1. Latham comes set. Swung on hard, base hit for Ty Bilbrey. That's going to be a one-hopper to the center fielder. And so Bilbrey with the base hit will be aboard. That's going to bring up number 18, Matthew Wheely. And courtesy runner comes in for Bilbrey, number 8, Eli Carver. I say courtesy runner, it's actually a substitution. Carver is already in the game, and so he's able to sub in to run for Bilbrey. And Matthew Wheely steps into the box. Carver takes his lead. Latham comes set. Here's the pitch. Low, ball one. Here's the throw over to Montgomery. Bounces out of his glove, and Carver able to get back. So the count remains 1-0 to Matthew Wheely. Latham toes the rubber. Comes set. Delivers. Wheely with a hard hit ball between third and short. The shortstop able to get to it, but Wheely able to outrun the throw to be safe at first. And that's going to bring up number 1, Roman Bronner. Bronner came in to pitch for Landon Connor and took his place in the batting order. And so the Tigers with 2 men aboard and no outs here in the bottom of the 6th, trying to see if they can claw back and reduce some of this deficit. They currently trail 8-2 and need to make some haste on putting some runs on the board. First pitch to Bronner is low for ball 1. Count 1-0. Latham comes set, delivers home. Hard hit ball. Picked up by the third baseman, who makes a great grab, throws over to Montgomery at first for the out. And so number 11, Martin, who was the starting pitcher, back over at third base, does a great job with that play to get the ground out at first. Bronner will head back to the dugout, and Jake Metter, number 16, will head up to the plate. And the Tigers with runners on second and third. Eli Carver on third, Matthew Wheely on second. This is going to be bounced off the third baseman's glove. That's going to score Carver. Wheely's going to stay at third. Metter is going to head to second. And the second baseman, as he applies the tag, drops the ball. I think that was the only thing that saved the out there, was he dropped the ball, because Metter was out. until he dropped the ball. So fortune for the Tigers, and the Owls are going to call the infield in and have a talk about it. You have Jake Metter on second. Have Matthew Wheely at third. Eli Carver comes across to score, and the score is now 8-3, but wasn't quite far enough, so Coach Hudson called him back. So the Tigers with runners at second and third. Braylon Flowers comes up, and it's going to be a wild pitch. Wheely is going to come in and score, and it's going to be a wild throwback to the pitcher, but the first baseman, Montgomery, able to back it up and get to it to keep Metter on third. And so the Tigers showing a little life here in the bottom of the sixth with 2 runs, scores 8-4. Jake Metter still on third, and after the wild pitch, Braylon Flowers has a 1-0 count with 1 away. Flowers steps in. Here's the pitch. Latham's pitch is outside for ball 2. Count 2-0. Tigers trying to generate a rally of their own here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Here's the pitch from Latham. And that's going to be swung on hard down the third base line, and it actually hits Jake Metter in foul territory, who had his lead over next to Coach Hudson. It looks like it hit him low around his feet, and he's walking it off. He seems to be okay. That was a hard-hit ball that hit Metter. Hit him right in his shoe. And it bounced way up. It hit his foot and bounced way up. Glad he's okay. 2-1 the count. 1 out. Flowers steps back in. Latham comes set, delivers. That's going to be a called strike 2 right down the middle. 2-2 even count to Braylon Flowers. And the Tigers looking to try to add some more runs here to reduce the lead from the Smith County Owls. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's way outside for ball 3. Full count now, 3-2. Been several full counts in this game. Flower steps back in. Latham checks Metter at third. Delivers home in the dirt. Bounces off Long's gear. And bounces out, but he gets to it to keep Metter at third. And so Flowers will walk on 4 balls. Soup coming up to bat, number 11. With runners at the corners and 1 away. The Tigers inching a little bit closer to trying to erase this deficit. Owls leading 8-4 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. High pitch for ball 1 from Latham. Soup steps back in. Latham comes set, delivers home. High for ball 2. Count 2-0. Latham looks in, gets his signal. And he feigns the throw over to third. Then turns like he's going to throw to first. Doesn't throw either place. And so the runners go back. Now everybody resets. Here's the pitch home. And that's going to be on the outside of the plate for a called strike 1. Count 2-1 now. Still 1 away. Runners at first and third. Braylon Flowers at first. Jake Metter at third. And he throws over to first, trying to pick off Flowers. Unsuccessful. Flowers able to get back in time. Trying to get the cheap out if possible. And Soup steps back in with a 2-1 count. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 2. Count 2-2 to Woodard. Latham comes set. Fires home. Low. 3-2. Another full count. Latham comes set. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a pop fly. First baseman Montgomery able to get that, but Flowers was almost at second base and was able to get back in time before Montgomery could make the catch and turn around for the third out. The ball was so high that Flowers was able to get back in time. Dean, number 17, steps into the box. Runner still at the corners, now 2 outs. Tigers down 8-4. That's going to be inside ball 1. (1-0) the count to Hayden Dean. Runners take their leads. Here's the pitch. This is going to be hit to the second baseman. He's going to scoop it up. He's going to throw over to Montgomery for the third out. And that'll end the 6th inning. When we come back, we'll be in the top of the 7th. The Owls holding an 8-4 lead. They'll go to work with the bats for the last time, possibly, unless the Tigers can come up with 4 runs to tie the game. You're listening to Tiger Baseball here on your home for Tiger Baseball, Country 102 WLCT. Number 21, Sinclair, second baseman, steps into the box. First pitch from Bronner is right down the middle for strike 1. Count 0-1. Bronner with the off-speed pitch, a little bit low for ball 1. Count 1-1. Here's the windup. Fires home. And that's going to be high for ball 2. Count 2-1. Bronner winds up, delivers, swung on. This is going to be back toward the fence. Matthew Wheely able to make the easy catch for out number 1. That'll bring up number 10, Claywell. Bronner looks in, winds up, throws home, off-speed pitch, outside ball 1. No one on for the Owls, 1 out. Next pitch to Claywell is high for ball 2. 2-0. Bronner fires home for a called strike 1. Another off-speed pitch. Bronner looks in, gets his signal, winds up, fires, swung on, foul ball, even count now, 2-2. The Owls scored 2 in the second, 1 in the third, and 5 in the 5th. Ooh, nice pitch. Nope. Off-speed pitch right down the pipe, but umpire says no. 3-2 is the count. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung on. That's going to be hit to Jake Metter at second. He's going to bobble it and safe at first. And that is going to bring up number 3, Gammon. 1 away, 1 man on for the Owls, who lead 8-4. Gammon steps in, First pitch, called strike one on another off speed. Nice looking pitch from Bronner. 0-1 the count. One away, one man on for the Owls. Bronner comes set. Delivers home. Another off-speed pitch for strike two. 0-2 the count now to Gammon. Bronner checks his runner. Comes set. Delivers. Runner's going to second. Swung on. Foul ball. Claywell was headed to second base, and now he'll go back to first after the foul. And the count remains 0-2. Bronner comes set. Throws over to Polston at first, but Claywell able to get back in time. Oh-2 the count still, one away. Gammon at the plate. Here's the pitch. Another off speed, a little low for ball one. Dean tried to frame that one up for him, but it was just a little bit low. One and two the count now. Here's the pitch. High for ball one on the fastball. Even count, 2-2. Bronner from the stretch. Steps off. Now he's back. Gets his signal. Checks his runner. Here's the pitch. Off speed, bounces off Dean's mask in front of him. Runner's going nowhere. Another full count, 3-2. Number 3, Gammon. Bronner comes set. Here's the pitch. Runner's going. Dean throws it down to second, gets by Flowers, goes out to right field. Wheelie picks it up. Claywell goes to third. Gammon stays on first. And so with the miscue on the throw, the Tigers give up an extra base. That's going to bring up number 1, the catcher, Long. And now Smith County with one out with an 8-4 lead have runners at first and third. Gammon at first, Claywell at third, Long at the plate. Here's the pitch from Bronner. And that's going to be a strike right down the middle, strike one. Fastball. Gammon takes his generous lead. He's going to second. This is going to be a fly ball to right field, and it's going to fall. Carver not able to get to it. And so with the base hit, number 10, Claywell comes across to score. The Owls now have a 5-run lead, 9-4. Montgomery, number 34, steps up to the plate. And we've got a time for a sub runner, number 22, Howell. Courtesy runner for the catcher. Runners on first and second. Here's the pitch from Bronner, high, ball one. Gammon's at second, Howell at first, Montgomery at the plate. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a called strike one down the pipe. 1-1's the count. One out. Owls lead 9-4 in the top of the 7th. Bronner checks his runners, comes set, fires home. Off-speed pitch swung on, strike 2. Count 1-2 to Montgomery. Here's the pitch. Off-speed pitch again, swung on. That's going to be a fly ball to Wheelie in center. He's going to make the grab. Runners are going nowhere. And so they're going to toss it back in, reset. Montgomery will head back to the dugout. That'll be out number 2. And so the Tigers 1 out away from getting back on offense and try to score 5 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning. Number 5, Hackett, shortstop, comes up to the plate. Runner still on first and second. Gammon is on second. Howell is on first. Hackett at the plate. Bronner delivers the pitch, off speed, strike 1. Oh and 1 the count to Hackett. Bronner. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Good fastball. Oh and 2 the count. Owls have only scored 1 in the top of the 7th, and the Tigers would like to keep it that way. 0 and 2, 2 outs. And the runners are going. Off-speed pitch going to be hit to Jake Metter over at second. He gets a 1 hop, steps on second for the force, and that's going to end the top of the 7th inning. The Tigers are going to have one more shot at it in the bottom of the 7th. Don't go away. See what the Tigers can do. You're listening to Country 102 WLCT. Polston, Jones, and Bilbrey, the first 3 up for the Tigers. Latham on the mound for the Owls. He came in relief for Martin, who threw 74 pitches. And now he has 31 pitches. So 105 pitches between them. Swing and a miss, strike 1 for Polston. Then the second pitch is inside for ball 1. Count 1 and 1 to Hayes Polston. Latham gets his signal. And that is strike 2. He's throwing from the stretch with no one on, not winding up like normal. And Polston's going to hit a blooper over to second base, who cannot grab it. He got his glove on it, but then bobbled it on the transfer. He did stop it from going into the outfield, but not before Polston can reach first. So the Tigers load the base with 1 man on, and that's going to bring up Jones, number 7. First pitch fouled off. It's not stuck, is it? Double-click the home button. Or you got to click it twice real fast, and then swipe it up to close it, and then reopen it. Swung on, another foul ball, count 1 and 2 now. That one hit the press box where we're sitting. We could hear that one loud and clear. 1 man on, Tigers down 9-4. Gage Jones at the plate. Polston takes his lead. Latham looks in. Delivers. This is going to be a fly ball to right field, and that's going to be caught by the right fielder, Preston. And so Polston will head back to first base. And with 1 out, Eli Carver comes up to the plate. Latham delivers. That's going to be hit to the third baseman. who is going to get the force out at second with Polston. They try to make the double play at first. Carver was already there, and then the throw went over Montgomery's head. And so Carver is going to be safe at first, and Matthew Wheely's going to step up to the plate. So with 2 outs, Tigers with a 5-run deficit, it's do or die. Ball 1 high. One 1-0 the count to Matthew Wheely. Next pitch is low for ball 2. 2-0. Tigers need a 2-out rally here to save this game. Otherwise, they will drop to 3-2. That's going to be a high fly ball. It's going to be called for by the third baseman, Gammon, who's going to make the out and is going to, Martin, excuse me. He's going to make the third out, and that's going to end the baseball game. So the Tigers fall to 3-2 after the loss to Smith County. I know that's tough for the seniors. This is 8 straight meetings with Smith County, and the Tigers have lost all 8 of those meetings in the last 4 years. And the Tigers were looking to at least get one win over Smith County. I know these seniors were before they end their careers here at Macon County. And so the next game is going to be Springfield Thursday. 6:30 p.m. will be first pitch. If you can join us in Springfield, we'd love to have you to come to the away game. If you can't, we invite you to join us here on Country 102. We're thankful to all of our listeners who listen to the games. We're thankful to all of our sponsors who make it possible. And go visit those sponsors that you hear here during the baseball games and tell them thank you for sponsoring Macon County Baseball. Everyone take care. We'll see you Thursday night. You're listening to Tiger Baseball on your home for Tiger Baseball. Country 102, WLCT.